welcome to MVP's contribution to Aberdeen Access Television. From ghouls, ghosts and things that go bump in the night, many level-headed witnesses have claimed to have seen ghosts. So what did they see? What are the forces behind such apparitions? Are they visitations from beyond the grave? Are they proof of an extra unknown dimension? Or are they simply tricks of the mind? We at MVP have set out to find answers to these questions, and first of all, let's have a look at what the people of Aberdeen think with Carla Mayer, our presenter.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Aye.
Why do you believe in ghosts?
Because I've never actually seen one. I come up against it, you know.
No, I don't think so.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Why?
Because I know they're there.
Ghosts?
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, for sure. Well, spirits anyway.
Why is that?
Because you feel them all around you, you know.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Okay, I never did. Just the same as I do believe there's a God, because it's only a theory story. That's what she said, sorry.
Well, I think there's something unexplained phenomenon about and experiences in life. I think that there is such a thing as a ghost, yes.
Have you ever had any ghostly experiences?
Yes, yeah, one or two.
Is there any you'd like to tell us about?
Well, one is walking about early in the morning, actually in the street, and out of nowhere somebody appeared at my side and I was speaking to them, and I turned away from them. I was with a group of people and I turned away, and when I turned back the person disappeared completely again.
Is it frightening?
No, not frightened. No, just perplexing.
Doesn't everybody believe in ghosts?
Well, not from what we found today.
No.
Why do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know. Because it pleases me to believe in ghosts.
Well, I wouldn't say I was no truth in it, but just I do believe. I'm not a believer. Well, I worked in a hotel. It's now a flats in Loch Lomond. It's Loch Lomond Hotel it used to be called. And I was up in the top flat. It was a ghost. Nobody would get into the room. And when I used to go up in the morning with a big Alsatian dog, the dogs here would stand on an end and wouldn't get into the room. And then it came into the elevator with me. And I was terrified. I don't know what it was. It was just I never touched it, but I felt it there.
It was a presence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No,
Why not?
I don't. I've never met one.
I've heard of people saying that they go into a house and there's ghosts and they see ghosts on the stairs and doors open and shut and things like that. I mean, I really think it's a bit far-fetched.
Have you had any experience you'd like to tell us about?
Well, yes. I once lived in a flat where I didn't know at the time that a woman had died, and she died in not very nice circumstances. And every time, didn't matter, I had 3 single beds in this room, and each time I slept in any of the beds, the bed would go down as though someone was sitting on the bed. And you used to get a really funny atmosphere in the room. And my daughter and myself, we came and we eventually didn't sleep in this room anymore. It was like in an attic room, and came down onto another floor. Because you just couldn't get rid of this presence. And we found out later that she died of drink and been in there for weeks before anybody had found her.
So scary.
Yeah, it was actually, yeah. Because it's the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen next.
I believe in ghosts because I believe that there's something after life that we have just now.
No, definitely not.
You haven't had a ghostly experience yourself? No, not that I can say no.
I used to work in a hotel where there was a ghost, and I used to believe that you could feel its presence and that.
I used to live in a farmhouse, and centuries before it was inhabited by, like, obviously peasants, right? And it was very spooky, very creepy. There was always a presence there. And at one time, I thought I actually seen a woman and her 2 children as skeletons. And sorry as it that he was convicted of sheep stealing and took to Australia. But I actually did, whether it was, I imagine, or what, I don't know.
Ghosts? Yeah.
Why?
Because I believe in life after death.
Have you ever had a ghostly experience?
All the time. Especially when I drink Castlemaine 4X. See you later.
We have a couple of guests in the studio with us at the moment, Kevin Pollock and Cara Robertson. Cara, who has claimed to have had a ghostly experience.
Hello and welcome to Ghosts Alive. Today with us we have Cara Robertson, who claims to have had a weird experience along with her friends. Cara, tell us about it and where it was that this thing happened.
Well, it happened at Onion Green, which is 2 miles out of Pitmedden, which is just a small village. And it actually happened at the Dr. Spencer Memorial Hall. And my friends, I was in primary 7 then, so Aberdeen 12. And my friends asked me if I'd like to start going to Onion Green because I lived in Pitmedden. And so we started going there, but they told me before I went about this picture that was haunted in the back hall. And I didn't believe them, so that made me want to go even more. And they said that there's a picture of a lady that things go missing off the picture. Yeah. Like, she's got 3 roses. She's got a red one, a pink one, and a yellow one. And they go missing off the picture.
Missing?
Yeah,
no, come on.
They just like disappear, like they've been painted out or something.
Oh, well, exactly. They probably have been painted out.
No, but the picture's about the width of a door and about 3/4 the length of a door. So it's quite big.
Yes, I mean, sure, anybody could paint over a rose with the same sort of colours, couldn't
Yeah, but it can't come back again, can it?
Oh, do they come back, do they?
Yeah, they disappear and come back again.
I see. Oh, well, it certainly is strange, but could somebody not paint them back on again? No. You think our viewers believe you?
You could honestly... No, but the wooden frames, I mean, the pictures are really old, you know, in the Victorian...
Well, so you think if a brush was placed on the paper, it might break because it was so old?
Well, it's done on canvas.
Canvas, well, okay, but spoil the canvas maybe.
Yeah, of course it would. You'd know anyway, because the paint would be a whole lot fresher.
So the frame doesn't look as though it's been tampered with?
No, the frame is very old and it's quite nice. It's all oak and it's all been engraved. And all really nice.
Yes.
Very old.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for coming in, Cara.
It's all right.
We'll go to Onion Green to see for ourselves. We are standing here at the graveside of the Reverend Alexander Spence, who put his name to the hall where Cara Robertson claimed to have had a paranormal experience. It has also been claimed that also in the hall there has been hauntings, but also here in the graveyard, where a white sceptre has floated about, or been claimed to have seen floating about. Whether this is true or not, we will only find out by experience.
Cara, is there any other statistic you can remember about the grave and the marked house or the hall?
Well, in actual fact, if you look at his grave, then it goes straight over to the hall.
Yes.
And then you go back to his grave again, and then it goes straight over to the mark house. So in actual fact, it's like a isosceles triangle.
Oh, I can see your point. But is there anything else you can remember about it?
No, not really.
Well, do you know how old he was when he died?
79, I think.
Do you know how many feet there is that separates the mortuary and his grave? Have a guess. Have a guess.
About 50, 60.
I'll tell you, 79 feet, the same age when he died. Let me read to you a short extract of a famous ghost story. An American family found a quilt in a box when they moved into their new home in Poiseville, Wisconsin in 1972, and decided to use it on their spare bed. But guests seldom slept soundly under it. They told their hostess, Mrs. Dora Monroe, that someone kept tugging it off the bed during the night. Mrs. Monroe's daughter Florence said she was awakened at midnight, and during a battle to keep the quilt covering her, she heard a voice say, "Give me back my Christmas present." Now, there is no explanation for these occurrences. Is it fiction? Or is it fiction of the mind? Or is it just the imagination? This marked house was erected around 1830 when the worst activities of the resurrectionists occurred. Their object was to obtain human bodies for anatomical dissection and medical education, as no provision occurred at that time. 12 schoolboys were shocked to see their classmate John Daniels sitting at his desk. For 7 weeks earlier, John had been found dead, 200 yards from his home in Beaminster, Dorset. His death had been recorded as from natural causes, after his mother said he suffered from fits. After questioning the 12 boys, local magistrate Colonel Brodrep ordered the body to be exhumed, and an inquest in 1728 revealed that John had been strangled. The murderer was never caught. John's ghost never returned to his old school,
but his pathetic figure has been seen in nearby St Mary's Church.
At the news desk at the moment is Carla Mayer with Aberdeen Arts News.
Hello and welcome to Aberdeen Arts News. With summer in the air, the month of May shows promise and brings excitement to the Aberdeen arts scene. The Music Hall is host to a range of events, including the Scottish Orchestra Proms on the 12th, 21st and 26th of May. Ticket prices start at £8 but concessions are available. Ireland's Mary Black is in concert on the 13th of May, and Hooray for Hollywood is back by popular demand on the 29th of May. Shows playing at the Arts Centre include Custer's Last Stand on the 7th and 8th of May, and Anything Goes from the 12th until the 16th of May. 42nd Street, starring Bonnie Langford, is the glittering musical at His Majesty's Theatre this month. The show stops on the 23rd of May, but from the 25th of May until the 6th of June, City Lights 2, The Life and Death of Willie Melvin, takes the stage. Ticket prices start at £6.50. And finally, Aberdeen's newest live arts and entertainment venue, the Lemon Tree. The Lemon Tree is host to a huge selection of activities, from workshops to shows. The easiest way to find out what's going on the Aberdeen arts scene is to pick up your free guide, The City Arts and Recreation Listings, at the Arts Centre. And that's all from Aberdeen Arts News.
This account takes place at the Limekiln Woods on the outskirts of Udney. One dark stormy night almost 150 years ago, an eligible young gentleman was on his way past the Limekiln, which was situated on the banks of a deep boggy pond, on his pony trap. It was raining heavily and the wind was extremely strong. He could hardly see where he was going, when he skidded off the track into the murky waters. There he and his horse did perish. On numerous occasions, the noise of a pony and trap have been heard in the track beside the Limekiln, even though the track is now too small to ride a trap on. Passers-by on what is now called Dead Man's Walk have also been witness to eerie screaming noises in the area of the pond. This account comes from Margaret Reid, who lives in Pitmedden. A little over 20 years ago, when I worked as a nanny for a farmer's wife, I had a few experiences with the supernatural. I used to spend a lot of my free time in my bedroom listening to either records or the radio while reading books. One evening I was doing just that when I smelt a man's aftershave. As the smell got stronger, I recognised it as Old Spice, which my boyfriend used regularly. You can imagine my feelings as I thought that maybe someone had crept into the room while I was downstairs. I checked under the bed, inside the walk-in wardrobe, but I couldn't find anything. I soon forgot about it, blaming it on my imagination. A few nights later, I was sitting on the edge of my bed, reading a book, when I got a terrible feeling that I was being watched. When I looked up, I saw what I can only describe as a man's head and shoulders looking at me. It had come out of the built-in wardrobe and was looking my way. Then it turned and glided straight through my closed bedroom door. As you can imagine, I got quite a fright at this and began to get a little nervous. I used to see things when I was a child staying at home, which made me frightened and reminded me of this time. While I stayed at the old farmhouse, I used to tamper with the spirit world and hold seances in my room. The most terrifying night I will always remember began with myself and a couple of pals playing with my homemade Ouija board. We'd got in touch with the spirit and we asked it cheeky questions. It did not like this, and the glass went round and round the table until all the pieces of paper with the letters and numbers landed on my knee. We'd had enough by then, so we decided to put everything away. Later, that same evening, I went to visit my sister, and when I returned about 11 o'clock, just before I opened my bedroom door, I heard the window inside rattle. Funny, I thought to myself, I must have forgot to shut it. I went inside and switched on the light, and the rattling stopped. Thinking to myself how peculiar this was, and I went over to the window to check. It was properly closed, and when I tried to move it, it did not rattle. I then went back downstairs and made myself a cup of coffee, feeling a wee bit edgy. I tried my hardest to forget it. When I was in bed, I really started to get frightened. First of all, I heard my bedroom door being opened on the fitted carpet. This must be Sheila, I thought. Sheila was one of the children whose room was next to mine. She sometimes comes in to see the time, so I looked up, but no one was there. The door was still closed. Minutes later, there was a clatter. I just about jumped out of my skin. What on earth could that be, I thought to myself, but for the life of me, I couldn't work it out. By this time, I was too scared to put the bedside light on to look. Not long after that, the taps in the handsick in my room were turned on. I shot under the blankets and trembled with fear. After a few seconds, the taps were turned off again, and I lay shaking under the bedclothes. I got the strongest feeling somebody or something was watching me. The feeling got stronger, and then I felt as though I was being talked into taking a look. The feeling got stronger still, and I finally lifted my head out from under the covers and looked down towards the foot of my bed. Well, that did it. I was so shocked at what I saw, I almost ripped the bed. There was a ghostly figure of a man with his legs apart. My eyes travelled upwards as he was standing on my bed with his arms crossed in front of his chest. I got as far as the shoulders, and there was nothing. He had no head, no neck, nothing. I was under the bedclothes again, almost in tears. I stayed there for what seemed an eternity, too scared to move until I finally fell asleep. When I woke in the morning, I felt as if I'd never been to bed. And when my boss came down to breakfast, she asked me if I was all right, because I looked so tired. But I couldn't tell her she had a haunted house. She would have never believed me. As time went on, I had one or two other sightings like the first, but somehow I was never frightened again. Well, that brings us to the end of the programme. I hope you've enjoyed it. Who knows, you might be able to see me next month here on Access TV.